All right, we're back for the afternoon docket. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How's your day going?
Pretty good. This morning was busy, and this afternoon will be busy too. Ashley Tice is in jail, and so I'm having her brought in. You can see the conference room there.
Okay.
So that might be why you haven't heard from her.
I talked to her on Wednesday.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Tice.
Hello.
You're not in any trouble here. I just wanted to bring you in. You've got a landlord-tenant case with Village Manor.
I'm sorry. I was gonna go and she thought I was working. I was gonna go on Wednesday when I was picked up for this warrant to fill out, the questionnaire. I need to send a WSI to let her know that I haven't been working. I literally am just waiting to go home. I got, sentenced earlier, so I'll be released.
All right,
They
well,
gave me time to
just
serve.
wait up a minute. We'll wait for the attorney to come in, and then we'll put all this on the record at once.
Okay.
Mr. Kern, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
While we're waiting for the lawyers to come, I'm going to go ahead and advise Ashley Tice and Monty Kern of their rights as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. All right. You're both subject to a landlord-tenant case. Mr. Kern's case is a termination of tenancy. Ms. Tice's is a non-payment of rent case. As such, you have a right to have a hearing in this matter, and you have certain rights. You have the right to hire an attorney if you cannot afford one. You may be eligible to get assistance from legal aid, or you could also look to Michigan Legal Help website. It's got a lot of good information on it. Meg Bauer from Legal Aid is here with us now. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is. You have the right to demand a jury trial, or you have a right to have the matter heard before the judge in a bench trial, but you have a right to a trial. If you do wish to have a jury trial, you have to tell me today or file a demand in writing within 5 days and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless you get a waiver from the judge. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the local coordinated entry agency, I believe that's the Community Action Agency, Housing and Resource Agency, in our county that's Neighborhood Inc., or if you're a veteran, you may be eligible for some veterans assistance. I believe we sent that information to you with the original packet. You do not need a judgment against you to get help from those places. If you are eligible, a copy of the summons and complaint from your court case are sufficient, and you've already received that. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested in mediation, both parties, the court can help set that up. If you do reach an agreement with the landlord, that means the case would be dismissed. They would file something called a conditional order of dismissal. And we can either provide you with that form or show you where to find it. Mr. Lubansky, can you join us, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. That's quite an impressive logo you got behind you there. Lori Cousineau, your manager from Village Manor, is here with us. The defendant, Ashley Tice, is presently an inmate in the St. Joe County Jail, and I asked the jail staff to make her available. She's here with us on Zoom. Also present is Meg Bauer from Legal Aid if consultation is needed. This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. Rent was $791. The time of filing, the arrearage was $3,452.35. Ms. Tice started to tell me before everybody got here that she wasn't working, had intended to change her filing status. Let's see if we can determine what is the current arrearage at this time through March.
Your Honor, as of today's date, I am showing in rent $5,064.35, court costs of $185 for a total of $5,249.35.
When was rent last paid?
She last paid on January 1st, $99.
All right, now, Ms. Tice, you're in custody. You indicated you'd like to get out of custody and get back to attend your business. What's your position here?
I had talked to the manager of Village Manor Wednesday. Unfortunately, I didn't make it in Wednesday because my son's school had called, and then I had ended up being picked up on a bench warrant at my home. But she was under the impression after that I was still working. I was working through a staff agency. So I'm technically employed, but not making any money. She asked me to come in and fill out the, it's like a questionnaire to send to WSI, which is the staffing agency, so that they can verify I have not made any money. I think my W-2 from them, it said I made $700 all of 2023. And then I haven't been able to do anything until, today. I should be released today. Like Judge Stutzman gave me my time served, and I'm just waiting. I had court around 11 with them, so I'm just waiting to go home to be able to figure out what I need to do. If the $5,000 needs to be paid, it will absolutely be paid with my tax money when it gets here. But I don't believe that I owe that.
Well, they're not clairvoyant. If you're supposed to come in and recertify, that's on you, not on them.
No, that's already happened, sir. I've already recertified. It's just the change in, she asked me to come in Wednesday when I spoke with her because I told the Secretary of Mary that I wasn't working, but it was through a staffing agency. So I can be employed through the staffing agency without having work, I guess. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, if you only made $700, I'm not sure how you're entitled to a $5,000 tax refund. Did you work someplace else?
No, sir, I didn't. I'm saying with my taxes, it'll be paid with taxes if I owe that. I made like $2,000 this whole of 2023.
Well, you won't get in another month it's going to attach. It'll be $6,000 by the time we get to this. So there are some issues here.
Okay.
Now let me look, because you had some district court stuff too, but I thought I had let you out. Let's see. You have a misdemeanor retail fraud with $1,000 bond on it.
That's a deferred sentence, sir.
Okay. All right. So, I'm hopeful you do get out today. All right. Well, we need to continue this. Perhaps it might be wiser to continue this more than the traditional 7 days to get a little extra time here. Let's see what we've got for our options. 7 days from today would be April 1st. And let's see what we have on April 5th. Wow, we're quite flexible on April 5th. I have several Riverside Townhouse cases, which are your law firm. So how about if we continue this to Friday, April 5th at 1:45?
Very good, Your Honor.
Ashley, I don't know if you're eligible for any financial assistance. And I don't know at this point whether that amount due will be recalculated. On April 5th, another month will have passed. So if your rent is $791 a month, that will take it to about $6,000. You would have 10 days from that day to pay the rent, or you'd be subject to being evicted, which would be about April 15th. So I would suggest when you do get out, you immediately go meet with Lori, the manager, and then share that information with some of the emergency funding agencies and see if you're eligible for help. Who's there now?
My kids are staying there with a family member just while I thought it was best for my kids to, be where they're used to being with their mom being out of the apartment.
I certainly don't disagree with that. All right, so if you do get out today, I would call Lori tomorrow and try to set up that meeting. Legal aid is here on the feed. Meg, do you feel any need to meet privately with this defendant?
It's up to Ms. Tice if she's interested. If she's concerned about a recertification issue, I'm happy to consult with her briefly, but it's up to her.
I actually applied for the legal aid when I looked over the packet that I was served, and I had touched base with, I can't remember the man's name. Everything's written down at home. I just cannot get access to it, obviously.
When you get out, contact them also, all right?
All right, thank you.
Make sure you contact our local office because I don't see you in our system.
Okay, I have the number of my cell phone. I'll reach out. If not, I'll try to make sure that I get in touch with your office because I'm not really sure. I've never had to do this before. So I'm trying.
All right, Ms. Tice, you can come in by Zoom on April 5th or come live. But here, I didn't want to, I knew you were in custody and I didn't want you to miss this. But you're good to go. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you.
Bianski, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great day.
Okay. Our next matter, Mr. Kern, is set for 125. It is 125. Mr. Beachy isn't here yet, or his attorney, Chad Spencer. Good afternoon, Mr. Spencer. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
This is Kevin Beachy versus Monty Kern. The file number is 24245LT. It is a termination of tenancy matter. I don't think I have a lease. Maybe I do. Let's look.
I don't think you do, Your Honor. There was no lease involved.
Okay.
My client purchased the property and Mr. Kern had items on the property at the purchase. And so he's just terminating the tenancy now.
Mr. Kern had some previous matters involving family over here at Hosiel, Neiman Road area. And that was quite involved. And Mr. Kern, what's the status here?
Well, Your Honor, my sister never really had the legal right to sell this property. It's never been, probate's never been closed. Basically, we're maintaining that it wasn't hers to sell. And Mr. Beachy knew that.
Okay, so what does that mean?
I'm investigating legal matters to contest that.
All right, well, it seems to me we dealt with all that in the other case, but I don't have it right at my fingertips. You don't live on this property, do you?
No, sir, this is property that I was purchasing from my parents. This was my residence from 97 to 2012. The property that you're referencing earlier was my parents' home farm. There was some, I don't know what you'd call it, unethical tactics from my sister and Mr. Beachy himself. I don't know who initiated the sale, but he knew that it's supposed to be mine. In fact, he approached me several times to purchase it, and I told him it wasn't for sale. And so apparently, I don't know who made contact with who, but nobody was talking to me about it. And all of a sudden, I get a message from him saying, well, we closed Saturday. It's never been released from my parent estate.
So what property is on it? Farm equipment, that sort of thing?
Basically, I ran a small business out of one of the pole barns. There's some farm equipment. There are possessions in the house, storage inside of the buildings.
All right, a lot of stuff.
Yes.
All right, well, you're gonna have to do something. You can't just show up and say, I don't think she had the authority to sell this property. You have to file something to challenge it, or because right now on its face, I'm presuming it's a lawful sale. I'm assuming there was some sort of title search and a good faith sale. So as I said, you can't just throw it on the wall, hope it will stick. You're gonna have to file something to challenge it. Now, the law requires that I adjourn this matter for at least 7 days. You were served a notice to quit back on February the 10th. You actually were served it on December 21st. Have you talked to any attorney or anything since December 21st?
I haven't talked to an attorney. I talked to the probate department, and I was given a number for legal aid.
Did you contact legal aid?
No, sir. I haven't had time.
Since December?
I didn't make contact with the probate until probably a week ago.
All right. This is serious business. I have to adjourn this at least 1 week. And if I adjourn that 1 week, that would be April 1st. If they got what they asked for, they can put all your stuff out on the street on April 11th. Mr. Spencer, when was the sale from the Kern family to Mr. Beachy?
That was back, I don't have the information right in front of me, Your Honor, but I think it was back like in October or maybe early November. And Mr. Beachy purchased it from the estate, and Attorney Matthew Davidson was representing the seller in that matter, Your Honor. To my knowledge, I believe my client obtained title insurance, and I think everything, was closed correctly. And my client gave Mr. Kern ample time. I mean, he didn't had me send the notice to quit right away, and then he still gave him well over a month, as you can see, to vacate and to get his items off the property, and that still hasn't occurred. So we would just like to have this, if we could have another hearing in a week, Your Honor, we would like to do that, so we could get this matter hopefully resolved.
All right, let me look at our calendar. How are you for 2 p.m. on Monday, April 1st?
2 p.m.
Yes.
Let me just verify real quickly, Your Honor, just 1 second.
How's that work for you, Mr. Kern?
That's fine.
Okay. A representative from Legal Aid is here with us now. One of the reasons you're in the conference room as opposed to in the courtroom is so I can put you in a private meeting room and you can talk to the attorney from Legal Aid. So I'm going to do that here when Mr. Spencer comes back. But as I said, the presumption is this is a valid sale. It was purchased apparently with the permission of the probate court from the estate. So your assumption or allegation that they didn't have the authority to sell it is going to have to be challenged. I'm not sure it's challenged in this court or in the probate court, but I don't know that somebody would have given title insurance if they didn't think they had valid title to convey, but we'll see. Does that date work for you, Mr. Spencer?
It does, Your Honor. That date and time works good for me. Thank you. And I can tell you that Mr. Kern's sister was appointed as personal representative by the probate court. So, for all intents and purposes, I believe she had authority to sell the property, Your Honor.
That's my recollection from the earlier cases. All right, now, Mr. Kern, Mr. Spencer, you're good to go. I'll see you next week at 2 o'clock here by
Okay.
Zoom.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
I will let Mr. Kern consult with Legal Aid in the meantime.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, very good. That's a big fat file and it was resolved. All right, we still don't have Mr. Leith in here. But we don't have another case breathing down our neck either. Mr. Leith, it's not helpful if you log in with no camera and no sound. We've actually gone backwards from where we were last time. Ms. Mueller, were you able to get any assistance from any of the agencies?
The CAA is going to help me. But I don't know an exact date it would be. through or whatever? Because there's a couple things that I have to do on my end before they get that done. And
Well,
then,
remember what I told you, you have to pay the entire amount. And so a partial payment won't prevent the writ of eviction. To further complicate things, April's rent is going to be due soon.
I also have a couple organizations that the neighbors lady gave me to see about
Okay.
them helping too. So I'm waiting on them to call me back.
All right, good afternoon. Mr. Leith, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right,
Hi, Richard.
yay, we're all in the same place. We return to file 24208 LT. We determined last time that rent through March was $4,438 in arrears. Court costs were $118 for a total through March of $4,556.12. Ms. Mealer indicated that she was going to be seeking financial assistance. She has been in contact with Community Action Agency. She has a couple of other options where people are perhaps going to offer assistance. I did tell her, I repeated it here today, partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. You need to pay the entire amount. I thought I had a judgment in here. Mr. Leith, are those figures still correct?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm looking
Oh,
for
okay.
some.
Okay.
I thought I had a copy of a judgment in here and I'm looking. Well, I have one prepared. All right, I need a judgment. Miss Mealer, through March, you owe $4,438 in rent, $118.20 in court costs, for a total of $4,556. Rent is $700 per month. On April 1st, you're going to owe another $700, which is going to make this about $5,200. Every month that you're there, you're not paying rent. Mr. Leith is losing $700. You have 10 days from today to pay that amount or move out, which
Okay.
would be April 4th. Now, as I told you before, partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. You have to pay the entire amount. I'm not ordering any money judgment at this time. That could be a separate hearing after you move out. You may be liable for additional money damages, for example, April's rent, or if there's other damage to the apartment. That could be part of the damage hearing. Now, if you do move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. Now, Mr. Leith does not have to evict you on April 4th. However, he can. Mr. Leith, this is being broadcast and everyone's watching. And so you're working on something on your face. You probably don't want everyone to watch that. Anyway, let me repeat this. He does not have to evict you on the 10th day. He has 56 days from today to ask for the order of eviction. But the longer you stay without paying rent, the deeper he gets in the hole.
Right.
And so if you come in with, say, I've got $3,500 worth of financial assistance, he can elect to accept that and work with you to catch up within 56 days. Or he can simply say, I want you to pay the entire amount, or I want my apartment back. So the two of you need to stay in contact. I will prepare a judgment and send it out here before the end of the afternoon. And Elaine, I need a judgment in this case. So you're in a tough spot. There's a lot of rent due. I don't know if they're going to give you that much money. If they do, that would be great. If they don't, then you may need to use that money to find the next place to move to. So I will send you a copy of that. You also have 10 days to appeal this, which would be April 4th. Do you have any questions?
I know, like, I've already spoke to Richard. We do keep in good contact. Like, he is going to work with me. So I got behind once before and I caught it all up. So I can do it again.
I hope so. All right. I'll send you each a copy of that judgment as soon as I prepare it. All right. Mr. Leith, do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
All right. We mastered Zoom, so that's good. Do better next time. All right. Thank you.
For me, Judge, I think, right?
Am I
think
good?
that's it. Yeah, I'm going to remove you, Miss Mueller.
A good small
I think that's it. I've got some small claims and I took care of my general civil matter. I have a sentencing at 4. But that's all of our landlord tenant docket for today. Thanks for your help. That Mr. Kern needs lots of help, and I think that he has no cause of action, is my guess. I had dealt with this family situation in earlier cases, and the sister is the personal representative of the estate and had the authority of the probate court to sell the property. So I think he's grasping at straws, but if you find a defense in there, perhaps you can help him.
And I
All
don't
right,
know
thank
if he'll be eligible for us or not. I did send him, sent him along and gave him some information, but he may not be eligible for us with his assets. We'll see.
All right, thanks.
Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
bye.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. We're almost done. A couple more hearings. All right.